Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you in another video. All right, I figured I'd just talk my ish. Feeling good about the Lakers right now because everything that we've been doing in the off season has been stellar. Of course, as we've talked about every day, all day, and you guys have gotten enough of me talking about it. But I think what's on my mind right now is just how fantastic that Austin Reeves contract is going to be for us over the next several years. $56 million for 4 year deal for a player that is of that caliber who's already proven enough in multiple areas on both sides of the floor. He really doesn't have too many holes in his game at all when you consider just the fullness of what it is he brings to the table, the intangibles, the upside, marketability, everything that comes with him. He should be paid double that. Double that. I'll tell you right now, and I mean this sincerely, I would much rather have Austin Reeves and Jeremy Grant. I ain't talking about contracts, I'm just talking about players. I would rather have Austin Reeves. So Jeremy Grant's making $160 million. Austin Reeves is making $56 million. And I'm telling you, I'm taking Austin every time. And ain't looking back either. So this is one of them situations where I just think that might be arguably the best contract in basketball. Austin Reeves' contract might arguably the best contract in basketball. And it ain't gonna matter because none of y'all gonna touch it. We gonna see that thing all the way through. Nobody's trading it. Nobody wants to move him. None of that. I know there's going to be some enticing offers over the next several years if he continues to go on the trajectory he's on. People going to want to offer us really, really valuable stuff to get him off of our hands. And I'm telling you, I have no interest in that. I have no interest in that. What I've seen here is a guy that sees a path for his career going exactly the way he wants it to go. He put himself in a position to be an undrafted player so he could get here, and then he invested in the team when it was time for him to get paid in a very, very substantial way. And I have seen it pay off for players, especially very, very intelligent ones who can have what they do translate on the court. I think this is a guy who cares about what happens on the basketball court. He cares about his path in the league. He cares about playing basketball and winning. He still has his interests wrapped up in the sport itself, and he put his money where his mouth was. You know, we've been talking about it for 2 seasons now, basically, where players, um, by way of how the NBA is set up, are essentially almost asked to go out on a limb and set and invest in the team themselves. You could take $100 million, but maybe only take a little bit less than that, so that your teammate can have some talent. You know, so we can get talented teammates for you. And in talking like that, we understand that that's a risk, man. Because if you're traded, the sacrifice you made for one franchise ain't the one you want to commit to for the next, and that kind of thing could be a thing. But at the end of the day, it's a risk either way because you could find yourself unhappy if you sign a big contract and end up having it moved around or sat and all that stuff as we talk about every day. So for me, I look at this situation and I say, if I'm Austin Reeves, I need to be celebrated for the sacrifice made financially. So everybody knows the market for Austin's basically double. It's basically double. So I gotta give him love, man. Gotta show A. Reeves all this appreciation for, uh, obviously returning to our team, and then from there taking a real pay cut, man, for what it is that we're expecting him to do, to receive out there in regards to free agency. And I know that he's not gonna be asked to do that every time. We don't necessarily expect him to do that all career long. But for this first contract while LeBron is here, that's a hell of a sacrifice. It's a hell of an unselfish decision, to ultimately leave that much money on the table. And I think his maximum was 80 million. I'm pretty sure a team would have given him that if he would have just held out. I'm pretty sure the Rockets or somebody would have been happy to give him his max. We would have matched it, but it would have put a real stranglehold on our team in ways that we didn't necessarily want. So yeah, man. And Rui Hachimura is similar as well. I don't know that Rui Hachimura had the same market as Austin, but I definitely believe that he left some money on the table and made life really easy for the Lakers by not signing a poison pill contract or anything at all away from us. So just the gesture alone for those guys to not take any calls from any other teams is a big deal. And it speaks to how much they care about what we're doing here in LA, and it speaks to how well the front office has put together themselves in such a way to where players want to do this, or they want to put themselves in a position to even consider a pay cut or giving the team a break or something. So, I'm really happy, man. It looks like we got some guys that are seriously devoted to what we're doing. And I think we did well, like I said, in the draft and in everything that we've done in the free agency market. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. And I'm not discouraged in any way by the team not playing great in the summer league. I don't think that holds any weight at all. Those of us who know basketball well enough knows that the first game of summer league does not tell you a single thing. Nothing at all. It doesn't even tell you anything about your summer league team, to be honest with you. It tells you nothing. I know that, just segueing away from what we've been talking about here, I know that Cole Swider looked pretty poor out there, and it does concern me a little bit only because it's about conditioning at this point. He's been working hard. I know he's out there. He got hit with the injury last year that kind of set him back a great deal, but you just want guys to look like they move a bit better than he looked like he moved out there today. So that's the only thing. When you're surrounded by athletes, surrounded by guys like Max Christie and the other team, Hawkheads dunking all over the place, it gets a little frustrating when you're watching guys out there. They can't really move around. They're kind of sluggish, or they just don't look like they really have a whole lot of athleticism to them. It makes you think that they can't contribute in other areas when that's not the case in a lot of cases. I know Cole Swider's a bucket, and I know he's going to make it in this league, but we're going to have to put him in positions to look better out there in the summer league so that we don't lose faith in him early, because that's exactly how this tends to go. For a lot of fans, and a lot of times it translates to playing time, not necessarily being available to guys. So I want to see Cole Swider look better out there, man. I do. Not necessarily just hitting his shots and everything, but just overall, he got to get his conditioning where it needs to be so he can keep up with these athletes out here, man. And I trust that his jump shot will continue to fall. I thought it looked pretty good in the game that we saw tonight. He wasn't terrible in that way, but, Dan, the Lakers fan, said something that stuck with me. He said that Cole Swider tends to look like he's standing still out there when he's playing defense. It's like guys are running past him and around him and all of that. And that's what I saw down there. That's exactly what I saw down there. He just looked like he was 2 steps slow, and that was too damn bad. So we got to have Cole Swider, get healthy out there, and that's really what it is. The better his conditioning, I think the better he'll look out there. And I just want to double back and say I just know that some of what we saw today is just them kind of choosing this set of players to see on this day. We're going to see plenty of the guys we didn't see in the future games. So that's one thing I want to tell everybody, because it's easy to get frustrated that we didn't see Max Lewis out there, to get concerned that maybe they're going to try to bench him in the summer league or something like that. And I just don't anticipate that being actual. Not at all. I just think they gave some other guys a first look, and I'm pretty sure we'll see Max Lewis in plenty of actions going forward for the summer league. And if it ain't clear, I would like to see Max Lewis in more actions in the summer league, just in case they decide they don't want to play him. That's something I don't even anticipate having a problem having to say. I don't think that's going to be the case. So let's keep watching. I don't think we'll have to complain about that. Yeah, we've already talked about the game a little bit that we saw today against Miami. It wasn't much for me to really enjoy, as I said, but I took a lot away from the fact that Miami's coming in with a crisp summer league team. Caron Butler had those guys on a string. I think I took more from them than I took from us, to be honest with you. And so we'll just keep on moving forward. I think at the end of the day, I did love what I saw from Jalen Hood-Schifino in the second half of the game, as I mentioned. Looked like he got a little more comfortable out there. I think jitters has a lot to do with it too, and why guys don't look that great in certain situations. But I thought our team looked pretty good, man. Just the size of those two guys, him and Max Christie on the same floor at the same time. I think about D'Angelo Russell, and just the height that we have with our guards. It's really intriguing. It was really cool to see that Gabe Vincent was on the sideline there watching our game. I just think that speaks to him being all in. He's been with the Miami Heat system for a while, so he knows what it means to not only follow culture but establish it. And I love the gesture. It speaks to what it is that we're all about here in LA too. And I'm sure he's going to be embraced with open arms by all the veteran Lakers who often are present just over the course of all the Lakers players' tenures that you will see these guys, and I think they'll take well to that gesture from Gabe Vincent. I think he will be quickly welcomed in as a Laker, just off the strength of doing that. So yeah, man, I like the character. I like it. It's a Derek Fisher like type of energy that I think he may be bringing to the table on the court, and I'm very excited about that, given the fact that he's had some success in the Eastern Conference, played some big moments and stuff like that. I think he's just going to continue gaining that experience in the next leg of his career with our team over the next 3 years. I'm fairly excited about what Gabe Vincent is going to continue to do. You know what I mean? He's already establishing himself as a fantastic playoff performer and a big shot maker. I just think it's a great time to pick up a guy like that. Even if you don't love what he's going to bring from night to night, if, you know, at the end of the day, this is a role player we're picking up, and if you hire him to do what it is that his role is, he may be one of the best role players on planet Earth right now, considering. So, for me, I'm really, really happy with Gabe Vincent's acquisition, and I'm poised to see him play well so long as Coach Ham puts him in good rotations. Y'all know how I'm concerned about that. Something that's kind of cool. DeMarre Carroll was hired as an assistant coach for us, and I kid you not, Taurean Prince and DeMarre Carroll were players I used to confuse for one another back in the day, because they played for similar teams. They both had time with Atlanta. I think they both had time with Minnesota. They both had dreads at one point. They both tend to kind of look similar in build. Even their faces kind of look alike to me in some ways, and now they're going to be on the same sideline for our LA Lakers. And so I'll be able to distinctively tell the difference between them from here on out. But I just think that's kind of funny, because when Taurean Prince first got to the league, he and DeMarre Carroll remind me of one another. And I think Taurean Prince was drafted to the Hawks because they reminded them of DeMarre Carroll. I kid you not. But nevertheless, they're both on our sideline now, and I think that's really, really cool. Also, DeMarre Carroll was in Milwaukee with Darvin Ham and was a big part of what they had going on there. So yeah, he carries over from there. And of course in Atlanta, I think Darvin and DeMarre also spent a lot of time with Darvin being an assistant coach and DeMarre, I believe, being a player. So that also keeps it going for us in regards to Darvin having his guys here. And of course we mentioned Taurean Prince and his synergy with some of the guys on our team because he played with Minnesota. And I believe he was on the team with D'Lo, Vando. So yeah, that should definitely carry over from here. Now, more Laker news. Well, it's Buck news now. Malik Beasley signed a 1-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. He's going to be shooting sniper shots for Giannis and them. And I don't hate it at all because he struggled so bad with our team. We really didn't want him back. We were willing to bring him back because we thought that there was a great chance he wasn't going to nearly shoot as bad as he did last year. But just in case he does, nobody's going to be shedding any tears that he's gone. That player struggled a lot, man. He struggled a whole lot. It was a big part of the problem in regards to small ball lineups. So with him skedaddling, I feel more confident about our team and the overall size we have. Just in general, you want to make sure that Gabe Vincent's pretty much the shortest player on the team. So that's what I look at there. I do want to thank Malik Beasley for coming in second half of the season. Throughout the first couple of games of his tenure, he really lit up the scoreboard and really helped us win some games. Too bad he got into a really bad slump and couldn't be utilized in ways that allowed for him to showcase his talent. But I think in Milwaukee, with them being short of a lot of role players, I think the role for him to rekindle his career should be available to him. And next to Giannis, with that type of rim protection, Brook Lopez, I like him over there a lot more so than I like us with him last year. So, yeah, bounce back year from Malik Beasley ahead, I believe. So, yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking there. All of those thoughts have been in my head. I've been wanting to get them on camera, especially the DeMarre Carroll, Taurean Prince thing. I just thought I got a kick out of that. But yeah, this team looks good, man. This team looks good. The critics love us. You know what I mean? It's ESPN loves us to death, which, like I said, I never buy them. You know what I mean? I never buy them. I think they're always going to tell you something that ain't true. I think our team is good, but I don't think we're as good as they're telling us we are. But that doesn't mean I'm not ecstatic as they say we should be. And as I told you guys, it ain't because of this upcoming season. It's because of how healthy our team is going to look going forward because of all this good stuff that Rob put together this season and last with that trade. It's just been an amazing influx of talent and good contracts coming our way. And part of that has to do with Rob Pelinka. The other part of it has to do with players like Austin and Rui taking pay cuts and guys like Taurean Prince taking pay cuts. You know what I mean? Just to be here. And so I really genuinely appreciate all parties involved as a Laker fan, and I think they'll appreciate the sacrifice they make too. I think they'll appreciate it. LeBron James, I wonder how much, and AD, I wonder how much they have to do with this. I'm not saying I'm certain. I'm saying I wonder, because this is the type of thing where the books look so clean, you just wonder who's helping who out to make up the difference. Who, you know what I'm saying? Our books look so clean, and guys have taken such massive pay cuts. It makes you wonder if people are doing other things to help make up for what would otherwise be so much money left on the table for these who are making sacrifices. Whatever the case may be, I certainly appreciate it, and I think it's going to translate to an opportunity that we wouldn't have otherwise had if guys didn't make this opportunity happen. And in LA, there is ways of making money, especially as a Laker. Endorsement opportunities are plentiful. And I think guys will really, really make up for it on the back end, especially a guy like Austin Reeves. I think he's still going to get this money in this league so long as good things happen with health. Knock on wood, also known as my skull here. But close enough. Nevertheless, I think all in all, we're poised for a very happy Laker year for our team. So long as everything falls into place with our health, I don't see any reason for us to have a bad year, or in that same breath, overwhelmingly high expectations. No, not with this much unproven talent. I don't believe that's realistic. If LeBron was still in his prime and AD was still in his prime, of course that's a different story because they're going to drag you to town. But we're going to need guys to play outside of themselves, in my opinion, or we're going to need this thing to come together in some really, really fast and unprecedented ways in order for us to be as great as ESPN's going to tell us we are for the moves we've made. They're great moves, but they're not great moves for this upcoming season, and I don't think that's really what they want to sell. You know what I mean? That's not what they want to sell. They want to sell you that because these moves have been amazing, the Lakers are automatically going to win the championship. And I just don't think that's what this translates to. I don't think so. But that doesn't mean I'm not ecstatic. That don't mean I'm not happy. That don't mean I can't wait to see it. That don't mean I'm not poised to be wrong. All of these different things could be really, really real for me, and I'll be totally, totally great with that. I just tell you exactly what I see. And what I see is a very, very good young team with an old core that seems to be on board. That's what it looked like to me, man. And like as I said before, I don't know that you can replace the core and make yourself a champion. I don't want people to think that I think that that's going to be the case either. We don't get to move Bron and bring in Trae Young, move AD and bring in whoever, star, Dame, and think that is enough to get this team over the top. The reason that I don't think this team is a championship team is not because the core can't drag us. It's because the kids themselves are going to have to be able to basically understand certain things that rookies and first-year players and second-year players often don't understand out the gate, and usually get out-savvied by the guys who've been around a little bit. And that's just what I come to expect when we're going to be leaning on so many unproven players. It's if we had more proven talent around each unproven prospect, I'd feel a bit better about what they could do this season. But because so many great unproven prospects are stuck together, it's just more so a question about whether or not that makes sense coming together. So that's really what it is. Love all the prospects. Don't care that this is a problem per se this upcoming season, but I do think it may be one just the same. A guy like PJ Washington could change that. If Christian Wood comes in and plays like Christian Wood from the Rockets, that changes that. You see what I'm saying? Because you want For me, the difference would be us getting one more player with that type of upside or potential. One more solidified guy that can flip out and give you 30 on a given night and block a shot or two, something like that. That would make us a different team if we get that last guy being ridiculously talented and affordable. But if we just round it out with like Mo Bamba or something like that, that's going to be my consensus that we're just a really solid team. I don't think, unless somebody really flops off, I'm going to want us to make any trades to get better or nothing like that. I don't think so. I'd rather us just keep all these fantastic contracts and players, prospects in place to where if they fall in the second round or something like that this upcoming season, we go in with another training camp and just retool very, very slightly and keep this unit together. If you do that and the core is still intact, then I like us a lot more to win a championship that year or compete for a championship that year. You see what I'm saying? Because all of the kids that are unproven would then have learned a lesson or two, gotten a little bit of workout, glory under them, so to speak, to get a little more muscle on them, learn a couple of savvy tricks so they can now implement those into their second season together. And I think they'll likely be a little more ready for what it is we're asking them to do this year. So I've just watched these type of things too many times. I've seen this type of thing. I don't know if a team that's assembled this way has had a core this decorated, though. You know what I mean? That's the key. But I just think we're asking those decorated guys a little too late in their prime to wait on a team full of unprovens. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. But that's up to Bron and AD. That's on them. If they wanna wait it out, we're a great spot to be. I think that for every star in the league right now, you definitely want to be a Laker. The way Rob Pelinka's making moves around this team, this is where you want to be. Number one place in the league, if you ask me, right now. So that's why I'm very, very thankful that we've got guys that want to invest in this team, because that's what makes it that. These great contracts. If guys don't agree to these contracts, it just doesn't turn out to be a great job for Rob Pelinka. So, yeah, man, that's what it is. And I want to encourage other guys to consider if it makes sense for you to do that. Obviously, I'm very happy about it as a fan, but that's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice that maybe doesn't make sense for a lot of players. And so, you just got to figure out what makes sense to you. And as I said, the money path is a player path, but you're not going to probably be in the best circumstances throughout your course of your career. You'll just have all the money. And then some of the guys who are going to try to go out for a better path, you may leave money on the table, and your risk is different as well, because if you get hurt, you've left money you can't recoup, and all your investments that you're investing in the team could render it to be useless. You start looking at it like it's a loyalty thing, and it ain't about that. It's it's a business thing. And so that's the risk a guy like Austin runs when he leaves $100 million on the table, or $50 million on the table rather. It's no guarantee this will be another opportunity for him to make that type of money again. So that's the risk. But you bet on yourself, you bet on your team, and you bet on the glory of what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to have a path that wins, then it's going to cost you a couple dollars, and it's going to cost you putting in the work, and some things got to fall your way, and it's a lot of different things. But we've seen it work for certain players, man, where they have decorated championship-level careers because they left a little money on the table, and the team was good enough, and they got it done. And so I think that's what Austin's thinking about. I think that's who he's patterning his career after, some of those guys who did that. And I think he's banking on himself, turning himself into a full-fledged Hall of Famer with a whole lot of winning attached to his name, with a decorated championship team to dedicate his entire career toward. And he saw how it worked for Kobe. He saw how it worked for Magic. He knows what it looks like when you pattern your entire career around being a purple and gold Laker. And he's seen some of the mistakes other players made. They don't control their destiny because they either took too much or didn't put in the work or whatever. And I just think that young Austin he gets it. He fully understands what it is he needs to be doing. He's not distracted, and I don't see nothing getting in his way, man. I think we're lucky as hell to have this kid dedicated to our franchise, and I think we'd be wise to just continue to keep him happy and continue to keep keep the team around him in contention. That's what he's used to. That's what he invested in. He's a win now guy. So I want the Lakers to give that some thought when we transition our team from what we are now to what we're going to be. Austin Reeves investing in trying to win. I can tell you that right now. So that is something I already understand. So, man, this is what I'm about. What I'm seeing is what I'm about. When I told y'all when I started this channel, I was seeing a bunch of stuff I couldn't get with. Us reaching for players that didn't have no value, trading away stuff didn't make no sense. Giving away players, signing guys to contracts that hurt us. All types of different stuff that just didn't help us out of the hole that we had ultimately dug for ourselves. And we talked and we talked and we talked and we talked and we said what we needed to say, and we've seen the results since. That's really what it comes down to. I could not be more pleased with my team. That's really the conversation I have with you guys. The Lakers are doing what I'm asking them to do every day. Keep their books clean, get us young prospects, and run. And, I just think we're an ever-evolving team, and we've made such great strides so quickly. I'm just thankful everybody's in place. Really. And I just want to see the team go forward now. Thankful for Rob Pelinka. We don't take him for granted. I do think that the way he's going right now, he's gonna make him some huge money in this league, man. The way things are going right now, he's gonna be the most sought after GM in the league, and so we need to understand that is the case. He's turned things around very fast for himself, and that's a very good thing. Just doing things correctly, man. Imagine how things would have been if he wasn't in a huge hole to start his career with the Lakers. And if he would have had a full range of motion to bring us what he wanted to bring us, who knows how much better we actually may have been if we would have just taken the cuffs off of him sooner. But I think he has a lot more support and faith in his decision-making and his voice now than maybe ever before when you look at what's been going on these last year or so. So yeah, again, big ups to Rob Pelinka, our GM, and everybody that's, of course, Jeanie Buss, who signed off on everything, and everyone that has to do with investing in our team, including the players. I think you're going to enjoy your time here as a Laker. We're going to back you up. Of course, you got the fair weather fans, flake fans, people that don't really love the team. But at the end of the day, real Laker fans know who's at the top, all the way down to Fudge. We know them all, and we're rooting for you all. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.